Good morning, everybody. How are you doing? Give me a minute and I'm setting everything up as usual. Hey, Andy. What is going on? How are you this morning? I'm doing good. Thank you so much. A lot better than I have been. Hopefully, I don't knock myself off the Wi Fi. Hey, Kathy. How you doing, hon? What is going on? How are you? All right. Sounds like a good deal. Sorry, guys, for the 2 days that I've had off. I just needed to reboot, I guess. Aw, you're so sweet, Cassie. You are so sweet. Yeah, yeah. It's been, a couple days. I was just dragged out, tired, insomnia hit, and it was like, yeah, I'm not waking up to do the shows. Hey, Three Souls Paranormal, how are you? I don't know, Andy. It could be a little bit worse. It might take a longer time to get cleared up from that dose of weird. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it did me good. It did me good. Not only that, I had like 40 emails that I had to answer at work, at my actual work. Um, yeah, we're doing good, Three Souls. We're doing good. I hope you guys are all safe and healthy as well. Andy. So before I start, let me give you the rundown of what the news I got today. We have the strange case of John Spear and the God Machine. We have taken a look at lesser known flying humanoids. We have interstellar comet 21 slash Borisov. It's like no other comet in our solar system. We have the bizarre case of Ted Owens, the contactee given superpowers by aliens. We have United Kingdom's most haunted doll seemingly hates men. Mm. Hey, Little Red. No, you're not late. I'm just starting. We have a new case against the existence of Planet Nine. I don't know about you guys, but Pluto will always be a planet to me. But anyway, we have animals of the time traveling kind. We have Jupiter sized exoplanet mysteriously disappears. We have Where Are We Really From? The bizarre theory of this prison planet. Strange case of the message from Mars. An actual hieroglyphic stone from space. A unique 6-planet system orbits in almost perfect rhythm. Strange cases of mysterious alien signals from space, earthquakes in Loch Ness Monster, and much, much more. So, as it goes, you know how it goes. Watch your ears. The music is coming on. I had this set up at one time, but apparently it's gone. Watch your ears. Here it goes. Tell me pretty lies, put me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake. There we go. That was weird. Did you guys hear me at all? And why is this not? It's already starting to be a Monday. Did you guys hear me at all? Or was I just talking out my ass and nobody heard me? Where is my audio set? Yeah, did I just say all that and you guys did not hear me? There I am. Because I was talking and then I didn't mute it. Oh, it muted me. Never mind. Yeah, you guys heard me. Duh. I forget it mutes me during the song. Yeah. See? You know, the reason I stopped using that was I bought and paid for that opener, right? And YouTube kept copyrighting claiming me. So I stopped using it. Then, when I started streaming to DLive, they were copyrighting me for my notifications of getting lemons or ice creams or diamonds or anything like that. So I said, well, the hell with it. I'm going back to using my opener and my closer. So here I am. Anyway, how is everybody? Hey, Little Red. Hey, Three Souls. Hey, Cassie. Hey, Andy. You guys are awesome. Hello to everybody. Anybody who's lurking, how you doing? I hope you're all having a great day. I hope you all are healthy and strong. There we go. Let's get that up there. So, shall we get to the first story on the board? Anything new going on before I start that? Anything new going on in your guys' life that you'd like to share? Is there a lag? There could be a lag. I have a lot of tabs open, so it definitely could be a lag. No doubt about that. I saw Ron, yesterday, Cassie, in your stream? I don't even remember what day I went into your stream. Was it yesterday? Okay, it was yesterday. Yeah, I saw him yesterday. Hey, Lisa, how you doing, hon? See, that's the thing. With all this going on, I'm lucky today. I know today's Friday. Oh, thank you, Cassie. I appreciate it. Hey, Beep Beep, how are you? Welcome, welcome. All right, shall we get started with the first story? Maybe if my computer wants to work. Hey, look at that. I hit the right button. What do you know? So the first story, like I said, is The Strange Case of John Spear and the God Machine. Right, I hear you, Little Red. That's awesome. That's awesome. I am doing good, Lisa. I hope you are doing as well. So it says history is full of strange, enigmatic individuals. They populate the landscape at times past and often misunderstood specters that will probably never fully comprehend. Such figures fire debate and speculation, often catapulting to become larger than life in the process, sometimes even being extremely linked to stories they spawn. One such figure was a man who was a big part of the spiritualist movement in the 19th century, who claimed to have built a living perpetual motion machine, the likes of what humankind has never seen before. Born in Boston, Massachusetts, in the United States in 1804, John Murray Spears started his story as a prominent clergyman. That is true, Cassie. She was in my inbox saying, "Where are you? Are you all right?" From an early age, he was a minister of the Universalist Church of Barnstable, Massachusetts, but quickly made a name for himself in other areas as well. In the 1840s, he became an outspoken advocate of social reform, and particularly focusing on equal rights, the abolition of slavery, prison, and labor reform, the removal of the death penalty, and women's rights. Indeed, he became more well known as a social activist than as a minister, initiating anti-slavery conventions and even overseeing the construction of this section of the Underground Railroad, which was for the purpose of helping slaves escape their masters. He was known for his rousing, impassioned speeches on these issues. Hung around with a abolitionist, Theodore Parker, and considering the era, it's perhaps not surprising that this would make him some enemies. Indeed, it was these enemies who put him on a different, stranger path in life, for which he would inevitably become more well known than anything else. In 1844, Spear was giving an anti-slavery speech in Portland, Maine, when an angry, rabid mob descended on him to ruthlessly beat him to within inches of his life, leaving him in a coma and incapacitated for months on end. He would finally come out of the comatose state, excitedly talking about the various visions and spiritual visitations he had received while under. But at first, this was mostly dismissed as more a delirium from state and energies or injuries. Hey, Blue, how you doing? How are you all doing? So he would continue as a minister, but something was obviously different about him now, and his heart wasn't in it anymore. He continued to speak of his incredible spiritual experiences while in a coma, and believed that there was some truth out there that he wasn't privy to anymore. Some truth that lies somewhere else other than in his faith. This was only made concrete when in 1851 he claimed that he was receiving messages from his dead father, and he believed that he was able to go into a trance in order to speak to spirits from beyond the veil between life and death. Oh, I believe that. Yeah, there's a lot of cool tunnels in the from the Underground Railroad. That's wild, Little Red. That's wild. That's Spears himself. This has all contributed to his turning his back on his church entirely in 1852. When he broke all ties and became involved in the budding spiritualist movement that was all the rage at the time. This movement was all about contact with the dead through such means as seances, Ouija boards, mediums, and automatic writing. And by all accounts, Spears became caught up in it all. He began dabbing with automatic writing, which is when spiritual forces supposedly take control of the person's hand in order to write messages. And it was during one such session in 1853 that his life would truly be changed. He said that he made contact with a group of spirits he called the Electricizers, which were part of a group called the Association of Beneficents. Speer claimed that the group included some of history's greatest minds, including Thomas Jefferson and famous scientists such as Emanuel Swedenborg and Benjamin Franklin, and that the purpose of the group was to work from the afterlife to help mankind achieve a new level of technology and awareness. He claimed that he had been chosen in the earthly mouthpiece for the group from beyond death. And in order to further carry out the wishes from these electricizers, Spears would gather a group of followers to start a creepy commune in Chautauqua County, New York. Spear would purportedly, I want to say that's reportedly, but receive constant messages from electricizers for all manner of cutting edge and advanced inventions. Wow. Which had been thought up by these great thinkers and scientists during their years of death, and many of which were ahead of their time. Speer would outline plans from various electrical devices, circular, self-sustaining cities, computers, thinking machines, flying machines, and more. But the strangest of all that, he variously referred to the new power motive, new motor, the new Messiah, the God machine, and God's last best gift to man. This machine was to be a device that is my bot, Lisa. Streamlabs is one of my bots. Oh, I believe it, Lil Red. I believe it. My family has a root cellar. We can still veggies, but now I think of it, and yeah, bodies were stored if dead during the winter. Definitely. No worries, Lisa. You can have fun and just hit what is it, guys? I gamble. I'm sure you have points because you've been in my streams a lot. Did somebody change their name? Who's Jen's Aura? Somebody must have changed their name. But if you put not I, exclamation point gamble, like 100, you should be able to have points. Okay, so he's got this God machine, right? This machine was to be a device that would essentially serve us as a sort of perpetual motion device, which would feasibly create unlimited energy that could forever power mankind's endeavors in all of eternity. This machine would draw a power of natural self and be totally self-perpetuating, perhaps even replicating, and would serve as some sort of messiah to bring humankind into the next age of existence and raise their level of spiritual awareness, and as a grand practical movement for redemption in the human race. Speer even went as far as to claim that this machine would serve as a physical body of God on earth, through which the divine could speak to human beings. It sounded great, but first they had to build it. Speer would claim to have gotten detailed plans for a device from his spiritual guides, and it was to be fashioned of copper, zinc, and magnets with oh my God, my mouth is like, do you see that? I go to say it and my mouth just stops. Sophisticated gears, components, and movements. all housed upon a black walnut table completed with limbs and breathing mechanism in the kind of strange approximation of a living being. In 1853, construction began at a humble wooden shed at the top of a high rock hill overlooking Lynn, Massachusetts, and took a total of 9 months and an estimated $50,000 in today's money to complete. As a part of the process of building this strange contraption, Speer put himself in a specifically made suit encrusted with metal gemstones, plates, and copper strips, and even organized a mock virgin birth through a medium named Mrs. Mettler, who had been groomed to have an umbilical link with the machine and was to infuse it all an actual life of its own. One account at the time says of this. Thank you, Lisa. As Mrs. Mettler had been designed by the spirits in this Mary of New Dispensation and had begun having pains and anxieties associated with pregnancy. Until Speer contacted her, however, she was unsure exactly what she was to conceive. Spears instructed her to go on a mountain near Lynn, Massachusetts by the name of High Rock, on top of which was an awkward-looking device made of zinc, copper, and wood. Upon reaching the machine, she fell into a trance, went into labor, and after 2 hours gave birth to the machine by infusing her life energy into it. At this point, observers swore that the machine moved, ever so slightly. But it had moved. Once again, the spirits had displayed their phenomenal power by creating a machine variously called the art of all arts, the science of all science, the new Messiah, the Philosopher's Stone, the great spiritual revolution of the age, and God's last best gift to man. All of this was looking upon with raised eyebrows, even by other spiritualists, not the least of which a man named Andrew Jackson Davis, who had a high standing in the movement. He began to suspect that Speer was delusional and had somewhat lost his mind, having become more of a cult leader than anything else. Davis would write about some scathing contraries on it all, which earned the derision and skepticism of other spiritualists. Speer and his followers were openly mocked, even if they defended their belief in their experiments, conducting their activities in seclusion. So apparently this is what the device looked like. It kind of looks like a robot, right? Robot head. That is a weird looking thing. Oh no, I froze. Of course I did. Okay. But in the end, what everyone is probably wondering right about now is, did it really work? Well, that depends on who you ask. Several witnesses who were there when it turned on say that it did move on its own accord, as well as exhibiting a light pulsatory and vibrational motion. These movements went on for some time, usually almost Jesus, there's a lot of big words in this. Which is attributed by believers to becoming a result of its weakened infant state and predicted to become stronger and pronounced over time. However, others were not so impressed. That's what I was thinking, yeah, because that's weird. It has the legs of the table, but it has these legs here too, which is very weird. It is a very strange machine. I'm not going to lie there. Others, however, were not so impressed and deemed the whole thing a hoax and failure. In response to this, Spears and his followers dismantled the machine and moved to Randolph, New York, where they aimed to reassemble it. But before they could do so, it seemed an angry mob of people broke into the warehouse where it was being stored and completely destroyed it. So what would give some motivation of people destroying a machine? Were they scared of it? Do you know what I mean? Did they really think that it, I mean, that's the only reason I can think of them destroying it. I don't know. After this, there was no further efforts to recreate the machine. What was the machine called? I'll let you know at the end. It's up on the top there. Um, the God's machine, God's last best gift to man. He had a bunch of names for it. After this, there was no further efforts to recreate the machine, and indeed, Spears would claim in later years that he had been instructed by the electrizers to abandon the project, as humanity was not ready for it yet. Spears himself would continue on his social activism and spiritualism and eventually pass away in October of 1887 in the city of Philadelphia. In years since, there have been many conspiracies that the new motor, that's another name for it, was never actually destroyed by the mob at all, but that Spears and his follower were ultimately successful. One piece of evidence for this has been that there is nothing in the news of time to corroborate that it was actually destroyed. One opinion is that this was a cover-up by the group itself, and that it actually taken into a secrecy where it proved to be a success. But it was hidden from the world at large. Some think that it still exists, and it's out there to this day. In 2019, it was claimed that an original machine had been found in a Colorado attic. Although it hasn't been proven, in the end, there is very little evidence left behind for all of this, and no way to know how close Spear got to his dream. He remains somewhat of an enigma, yet an integral part of the history of the spiritualist movement and a completely strange historical oddity. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking, Andy. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Jealousy, yeah, that's another good one. I mean, it's just, holy crap, that's a lot of words. I didn't think that would actually work. But anyway, yeah, I mean, that's the only reason I can think of somebody would go and try to destroy it. But again, did that really happen? There's no proof of that actually happening. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Pretty cool story, though. Definitely cool story. And like I said, he had a couple names for the machine. It was called, they always referred to it as like the New Power Motive, New Motor, the New Messiah, the God Machine, and God's Last Best Gift to Man. Definitely a strange thing. I can see how the whole birthing thing would, yeah, it's definitely a very cool story. Me neither, Lisa. Me neither. It was a mysterious universe. It just came out April 24th. Oh, today. It just came out today, Lisa. So, yeah, I mean, I thought that was very cool. I'm glad you guys liked that. Definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. Here, we're taking a look at lesser known flying humanoids. Now, I'm sure everybody, and I think this is the first thing, there can be at least very few people reading who have not heard of Mothman of Point Pleasant, West Virginia. It's terrorized the people in the town and surrounding area between 1966 and Christmas 1967. Its diabolical exploits were chronicled in the 2002 Hollywood movie, so named after the 1975 book of the same title, written by Mothman authority John Keel, a winged monster with red eyes. Mothman's appearance came quite literally out of nowhere, and some say culminating in the high tragedy and death. It should be noted that there are a number of intriguing tales of lesser-known flying humanoids as they have become known, and that's what I'm going to highlight today. Certainly, one of the most bizarre of all many and variety strange things that haunts the lore and legends of Texas is that which has become known as very briefly as the Houston Batman. The most famous encounter with this beast took place during the early morning hours of June 18th, 1953. Given the fact that it was a hot and restless night, 23-year-old housewife Hilda Walker and her neighbors, 14-year-old Judy Meyer and 33-year-old tool plant inspector Howard Phillips were sitting on the porch at the Walkers' home located at 118 East 3rd Street in the city of Houston. Well, hey, Freaky Geek, how you doing? Yeah, I feel the same way, Lisa. I feel Mothman is a warning spirit, elementals. I don't know, but he's a warning. That's how I feel. That's my feeling on him from the core. How you doing, Freaky Geek? What is going on? So Walker stated of what happened next. 25 feet away, I saw a huge shadow across the lawn. I thought at first that it was a magnifying reflection of a big moth caught in a nearby streetlight. Then the shadow seemed to bounce upward into a pecan tree. And yes, I say pecan because I'm from New York, not pecan. I hear you. Same here, Freaky Geek. We all looked up. That's when we saw it. She went she went on to describe the entity to be essentially a man in shape, sporting a pair of bat-style wings, dressed in black, tight-fitting outfit, and surrounded by an eerie glowing haze. The trio all confirmed that this monstrous form stood about 6.5 feet tall, and also agreed that the strange glow engulfed him and was yellow in color. You say pee in a can? The Batman vanished when the light slowly faded out, and right about that time, the Meyer issued an ear-splitting scream. Miss Walker also recalled the following immediately afterwards. We heard a loud swoosh over the housetops across the street. It was like the white flash of a torpedo-shaped object. I've heard so much about flying saucer stories and thought those people were telling the stories were crazy, but now I don't know what to believe. I may be nuts, but I saw whatever it was. I sat there stupefied. I was amazed, Meyer added, and the newspaper said, or added to the newspaper that I saw it and nobody can say I didn't. Phillips, meanwhile, was candid in stating the following. I can hardly believe it, but I saw it. And nobody can. Oh, no. We looked across the street and saw a flash of light rise above another tree and take off like a jet. Now let's take a trip to the UK, so to speak. I know it's dreary out there today. At least here, it's been raining for 3 days now, and today feels the dreariest, if that makes sense. Midway, that almost looks like a gargoyle, at least with the horns and everything. Midway through the November of 1963, one of the most chilling and eerie of all monster encounters on record occurred in a dark and shadowy environment. Because that's when they that's when they like to come out, when it's dark and shadowy. Sandling Park, High Kent, England. It was an encounter that, in terms of the description of the creature, provokes Mothman-style imagery. Even though the latter famous creature did not hit the headlines only in and around the famous creature did not hit the headlines in and around Point Pleasant, West Virginia, until mid-1960s onwards. Although Sandling Park was certainly shrouded in overwhelming darkness at the time of this beastly event, it was hardly the sort of place where one would expect to encounter nothing less than a full-fledged monster. Amazingly, however, and according to a group of terrified witnesses, that's exactly what happened. John Flaxton, age 17, on the night that all hell broke loose, was accompanied by 3 friends, including an 18-year-old Mervyn Hutchinson, as they walked along a lane running in the park. After returning from a local Friday night dance, the group of friends became aware of a bright object moving overhead, which at first took nothing. They thought it was a star. However, very wrong they turned out to be. The teenagers were amazed and more a bit scared by the object's presence after they watched it hover and then drop out of sight behind a group of trees. The boys decided to leave the area with haste, but the light soon loomed into view again. It hovered around 10 feet from the ground and at an approximate distance of 200 feet. Then once again, it went out of sight. Hey, Eli, how you doing, hon? How are you? Welcome, welcome. Suddenly, the boys heard the snapping of twigs from a nearby thicket, and out of the wooded area shuffled a creature of horrendous appearance. It was the size of a human, reported Mervyn Hutchinson, but it didn't seem to have any head. There were wings on its back like bat wings. The group fled, perhaps understandably not wanting to hang around and see what developed next. Matters didn't end there, however. 5 nights later, Keith Croucher saw an unusual object float across the nearby soccer field. 48 hours after that, one John McGoldrick, accompanied by a friend, checked out the location and stumbled upon unusual impressions in the ground, which gave every indication that something solid and significant landed there. I'm doing all right, Eli. Thank you so much for asking. Hi, Mary. Did I miss Mary coming in? I don't think she's here, Eli. Yeah, I don't think she's here. I thought I was losing my mind for a minute there. All right. Oh, maybe she's a lurking. She could be a lurking. Without a doubt, one of the strangest aspects of cryptozoology is its tie with the crop circle mystery. Although it's a little known aspect of both phenomena, more than a few accounts exist of strange creatures seen in around crop circles. From Matthew Williams, the first man ever arrested, charged, and convicted for making a crop circle, came a fascinating, relevant account. That's true. That is true. It transpires that, unsurprisingly for someone who spent years deeply immersed within the crop circle controversy, Matthew is a veritable fountain of knowledge in respect to tales of weird creatures, either having been seen in or at least in direct vicinity of a complex crop circle formation. One such case is truly strange. Matthew advised me that the story in question concerned a man who had felt curiously compelled to drive late at night to a certain field in Witcher. Did I say it right, Andy? Many years ago. On doing so, Wiltshire. Helps to get the first part of the name right too, right? On doing so, he parked his car and duly and carefully began to walk his depths of the crop. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a large black humanoid figure appeared in the air. Wiltshire. Hey, all right. That's right, Shadows. A human eye appeared in the air over the field. It reminded me. It's true, Lisa. Yes, they do. I wonder if he was so immensely, I would love to talk to him, because if he was so immensely into crop circles and like full of this knowledge of beings in and around crop circles that he's seen, maybe he was doing one to try to figure out why they came and studied it. I don't know. It reminded me a little bit of the Mothman sighting when I heard the story, said Matthew, not without a high degree of justification. Matthew continued that the source of the story could only stand and stare in awe, while suddenly gaining the distant impression that the hovering entity was a source of at least some of the crop circle formations that were apparent in Wiltshire. Hey, Ron. There he is. At the precise moment, a simple crop circle suddenly appeared in the ground immensely below the black figure, after which it vanished from the skies, and the man was left utterly alone in the field, and with no real option other than to make his shocking way back to his vehicle and drive home, baffled and bewildered by both the weird aerial entity and what was it that had directed him to that field. Once again, like so many similar cases, the beast was not seen again. So yeah, that's odd though. I mean, that's weird. A cryptid making crop circles. That's weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, I can understand it's a form of speaking to us, but I'm trying to figure out, like, hey, don't run. I'm cool. I mean, I don't know. That's so wild to me to even think of a cryptid making crop circles. I don't know why that's strange to me. So maybe this guy was, even though he got arrested for making crop circles. I mean, yes, there are people that study a lot of these odd phenomenons, and stuff like that do go like, I haven't seen one in a while, need to make one, Right, Andy. Maybe because open park and lands, there's nothing to bend over. You know what I mean? As far as, crops and that can be, because they don't destroy the crops. That's the thing. They don't destroy the crops. Man-made ones do. Man-made ones destroy the crops. But the crop circles that are supposedly from UFOs, or now cryptids apparently, don't destroy the crops, which is nice of them. Yeah, I know. I thought of that freaky when I said it. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they what was I going to say? Maybe they feel like the parkland, it'll disappear too quick. Exactly, Lisa. They're the nice aliens. I'm telling you. So I ended up watching the whole Stephen Greer yeah, that one. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. Pretty freaking cool information. No, I actually think I know that name. And I'm telling you, he makes some valid points. I love Stephen Greer. I don't know how y'all feel about him, but do you really? Why is it, Andy? I'd love to know. Seriously, I love him. Yeah, that's true, Freaky Geek Bender from Futurama. What do you mean? Gets all the people with alternative energy sources, etc., into one place, and we don't hear from them again. What are you talking about, Andy? Please enlighten me. I'd love to study this. Oh, was like that guy a porn star or something? I don't know. Believe me, you're talking to the wrong gal when it comes to that. Freaky Geek Stephen Greer was a trauma doctor that turned into a disclosure agent, basically. He won. I'll tell you, he made one. That's funny. Protect modes about. Isn't he? Is he still emergency doctor? I don't know, Andy. I don't know. I'd have to look more into that. It depends. I mean, there could be a lot of people who get misinterpreted. I really don't like To the Stars Academy. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan of, Tom DeLonge. At first I was, until I started reading Body Language. And then I found out, you know, Luis Elizondo, he was a misinformant agent. You know what I mean? He put all the shit out there that, hey, Rainbow, how are you? Right, I can understand that, Lisa. Oh, hold on a minute. You guys are talking fast. Not just those. He got black. Yes. Yeah, I believe that, Ron. I really do. I don't know, Lisa, to be honest with you. To be honest with you. Astonished face. Oh, I was like, what is going on? It just told me astonished face. It's what Freaky was saying. That's so funny. That's so weird. Well, I looked up James Bartley. He's not the one that survived a whale, was he? This is why I love you guys. I love having these conversations with you. Oh, hold on. I got to scroll up a little bit. That's awesome, Rainbow. Hey, Mary, how are you? Yeah, I understand that. I totally get that, Ron. I agree with you in that aspect. But I have a very, it's one of those things where, oh, okay. But you know what? I've heard different things too, Lisa, about how if aliens were here to destroy us, okay. If aliens, I truly believe in the fake alien attack that's going to happen or whatnot. I truly believe that the government is behind making like gray aliens and shit like that. I truly believe that. Call me nuts, but I do. I believe that because they want to become a one world nation. And if everybody's scared of the same thing, we'll all come together. So when the real aliens come, we're like scared to hell. No, not Jonah and the whale. I'm doing good, Mary. A lot better. Thank you for asking. Um, you had issues undropping your hat? I do think the government has am I offline now? Everybody stop talking. Did they kick me off? No, but yeah, I really do believe that there's a fake alien invasion coming that's by the government. Like I think I sit there and I study UFOs and I sit there and I just said what I just said. Why'd I go to say it again? I think that UFOs, the ones we see, okay, here's my whole thing, right? The other day I was watching something on TV and I have to talk to somebody about this yet, but I'm not sure if I got it right. But I think the men in black come to people that have seen the government's UFOs, the government's aliens, the government's. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they're harsh. They get to the point, but there's a reason why. And I think the men in black, honestly, are coming to seize, like, listen, you know, they can't say that it's the government's because that'd be like a breach in contract or something. I don't know. But I really do believe that when they show up, it's because you've seen a government spaceship, not real aliens. And because the government is going to use aliens as a method to scare us all into going back, and our governments are the heroes because they're sending up Air Force and they're kicking these aliens' asses. You know, that's why we got movies like Independence Day. Haven't seen the new Top Gun. Has the Top Gun come out? Because that was another theory at the end. It looks like Space Helmet. So they're doing another movie to the aliens are bad. So I don't know. I mean, and it does bring up the point that if aliens want to destroy us, I'm sure they would have by now. Do you know what I mean? They would have. But they shut down our nukes. They shut down our nukes. I truly believe that they don't want us destroying our planet when it comes to nuclear war. The Arizona Lights, yeah. There you go, Eli. I haven't heard of the bracelets. Yeah, the government admits to alien contact, definitely. Well, I would not, I mean, they haven't come out and said, yeah, we've talked to aliens. But There goes Ron. I love that. Taking a kitty cat. I don't know. I think the bad ones, honestly, I am to the point of I think the bad ones are government ones. I honestly do. That's just my take on it. I really do. See, that's the thing about up here, at least in Valdez. Um, we're really laxed on we're relaxed on everything here, which is nice. Um, but people respect each other here, so you know what I mean? And the governor knows that, even though he's an ass sometimes. Um, I haven't heard that. Of course, I don't listen to the news too, freaky geek. It could be, Andy. We all have our days of misspelling. I have my every day I misspeak, so it's all good. Yes, the interstellar comet 21 slash Borisov was like no other comet in our solar system. Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. I mean, they got the media is run by the government. Oh God, excuse me. Apparently, I'm lying. My nose itches. Um, Comets are the favorite space objects of many people for a variety of reasons. There's the tail, of course, which can sometimes be seen with the naked eye, and it stays in the sky much longer than the meteors. They're in fact that they are orbit the sun in extremely long orbits, which means they've been seen and recorded many times throughout history, giving us a connection with our ancient ancestors. This return fact inspired us to keep the memorable names like Haley Bop, Kohartik, I don't remember that one, and others. Um, However, all these pair in well, yeah, these pale in comparison to the first known interstellar comet to visit our solar system. 21 slash Borisov, Amu, the last one, Amumamu, is interstellar, but not yet confirmed to be a comet, asteroid, or something else. Or something else. Ooh. This week, 21 slash Borisov pushed its way to the top of many my favorite comments list with NASA's revelation that its makeup is like none ever seen and that mysterious chemical composition may help pinpoint where it came from. I seen a comet come through, or a meteor, or one of them, not a comet, but a meteor come through the atmosphere. It was the first time in my life. It happened about 5-6 years ago. It was pretty cool. I was like, what the hell is that? Whatever the answer is, this comet opens up a whole new can of worms for cometary science. So that's what it looks like right now. Is this the one that's headed towards the? No, that's the one with Atlas. I wish it would stop raining because I really want to look up at the skies, but can't with cloud cover. And that's the only thing about Valdez that I hate is when it starts raining until the clouds are all gone. It won't stop raining because we live in like a fishbowl. It's comforting to know that even scientists and astronomers can't come up with a better metaphor than proverbial can of worms to describe the messy composition of 21. In a statement announcing the release of the new study on 21 published this week in the Journal of Nature Astronomy, planetary scientist Stephanie Milliam tries to describe what astronomers saw using the ALMA. As 21 made its close pass by the sun and its ice began vaporizing, the gas had a greater concentration of carbon monoxide than they expected, between 9 and 26 times higher than the average solar system comet. A concentration described as off the charts. Cometary scientists like Martin Cordiner struggle to explain why this might be. One idea is that 21 could be a fragment of a dwarf planet that had a lot of carbon monoxide near its surface. If the object collided with another, then the carbon monoxide-rich fragments could be released into space. Or perhaps it has a thick thermal insulating outer layer that keeps gases like hydrogen cyanide and water frozen, while the most volatile carbon monoxide outgases and appears more abundant relative to the other gases that make up other comets. Yeah, it is, Andy. In a concurrent study of 21 using the Hubble telescope, scientist Dennis Bodowitz of Auburn University speculates that CO means a red dwarf star. Generally small and cold, could have a giant planet covered with CO that is breaking apart and flinging CO-covered space rocks around the galaxy. If a Jupiter-sized planet migrates inward, it could kick out a lot of these comets. Not comets, comets. Obviously, this is more worms than expected. Will we ever see 21 again so astronomers can get more questions answered? That's highly unlikely, especially since it appears to be breaking apart. It's only the second in-story space object ever identified. While astronomers expect to see more now that they know what to look for and will have more powerful telescopes at their disposal. It will still be an extremely rare event, says Martin Cordiner points out. Our solar system is so tiny compared to all the distance between star systems. For an interstellar comet to come in and hit the bullseye like Borisov did is incredible. Incredible enough to keep it high on your favorites comment list. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I know that's a load of comments, right? That's right, damn it. So that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. At least in my book, I think so. How you guys hanging in there? You liking these stories, or you're like, shut up, Missy? I felt like I just laughed from the mom, like the mom from the 70s show. Okay, will do. So the next story I have. Of course I have, Lisa. He comes in here every once in a while. Terry does. I love watching Terry and Ale spirit stalkers. Or stalking. I don't know, Andy. That name sounds familiar, but I'm not sure, to be honest with you. That name sounds familiar. It sounds like the guys from Expanded Perspectives. I'll have to check them out though, just to make sure. I'll check him out. But his name does sound familiar. Here we have the bizarre case of Ted Owens, the contactee given superpowers by aliens. I know. Cassie, are you still around, hon? Actually, I think I saw him in Belinda's stream last, or J Max, one of the two. I'll keep an eye out for you, Lisa. Oh, huh. A great proponent of the comet impact theory to account for the ending of the last ice age, the mass extinction at that time, along with the carnage reaped by the massive melt waters. That's interesting. That really is interesting. I never looked at it like that. Never looked at it like that. That is very interesting, Andy. No problem, Lisa. No problem whatsoever. So, one persuasive feature of the UFO phenomenon is what they're called alien contactees. These are people who have supposedly had their firsthand encounter with alien beings, which can take the form of meetings with entities or most invasive alien abductions. The contactee phenomenon really runs the range. Some people come back with prophetic insights or messages from beyond our world. Others tell of humiliating pain and terrifying medical procedures, which often scar them mentally and physically for life. Others still are entirely more bizarre in nature. And one of these alien contactees who claimed that he was part of an experience to give him potent, nearly limitless psychic powers. The man is known as Ted Owens. Had a rather colorful life even before he gained notoriety within the paranormal and ufology worlds. Born in the United States in 1920, he's 5 years older than my mother. He lived with his grandparents to escape his father's abuse, and this was where he had learned both of his grandparents were powerful psychics. After this, he claimed that he had begun to exhibit various psychic powers as well, such as moving objects with his mind and levitating around the room on several occasions as a child. He also said that he was taught new information by an imaginary friend. In later years, became a gifted hypnotist who wowed people wherever he went. These psychic abilities would become more powerful in the adult years when he says he had gained the ability to read minds while serving in the U.S. Navy. He would end up further honoring his powers throughout his years at Duke University and later started to claim that he had ability to control the weather as well. Well, you can control you can control the weather, to be honest with you. I've caught many clouds in my life. Just not rain clouds. They might have been rain clouds, but I don't know. Just not like the clouds that I have today outside. That's very difficult. And later, he said that he could evoke storms, make it rain, conjure up tornadoes, and direct lightning strikes. I'm not that good. Several high-profile people, such as Philadelphia lawyer Sidney Margulis, attested that they had witnessed Owen make lightning come down from the sky on command, and his wife claimed that he routinely made rain fall on command even during droughts. Other powers he claimed to have are the ability to predict catastrophes and even cause them as well as mind controls and other assorted abilities. In the meantime, he was a member of the Mensa from a genius with a genius IQ of 150, and in 1965, it even got weirder. Weed clouds? What are weed clouds? Are they clouds that have weed in them? So apparently this is Ted Owens. Don't click it. Don't. Okay. In 1965, that Owens, who calls himself the PK Man, became, and that's exactly what, yes, that makes sense, began to come forward with why his intelligence was so high and why his powers were getting so vast. According to him, he had been abducted by hyperdimensional entities, which he called superintelligence, SLS, described as looking like small grasshoppers standing on two legs, who had performed a sort of psychic surgery upon him in an experiment to find out just how much of the PK power a human being can absorb and stand. Okay, Eli, no worries. No worries. Puff, puff, pass type. No, I haven't cut those kind of clouds. In other words, according to Owens, they had taken his already considerable psychic abilities and magnified them exponentially, essentially turning them up to 11 and making him more or less a real-life superhero. He even had proof of this operation in form of an odd crease along the base of his skull. He was not humble about any of this either, calling himself a UFO prophet, and even comparing himself to the biblical Moses. See, that's the attitude you don't want, though, in my opinion. In 1969, Owens could, like, when I talk about, no, it says hyperdimensional. I don't know what that would be. Let's look that up. Hello. Maybe. That's why we do this, right? As I breathe into the mic. Sorry, guys, if you heard me breathe it. Okay, that's inner. Okay, let's see. Right. That didn't help me. Of course. Oh, I clicked on a Reddit site. Sorry. Okay, it says, let's see. What is a hyperdimensional being? Okay, let's go there first. Okay, it says a hyperdimensional being. Let me put this over here so I can read. Apparently there are levels to a hyperdimensional being. Level 0 is knowledge of dimensions. So basically most of us have the knowledge of, that's true, Freaky Geek, right? So level 0 is knowledge of dimensions. Level 1 is knowledge of time traveling. Level 2 is teleporting. 3, demonstrating timeless moments. 4, literally biologically immortal, can only die by certain weaknesses, if at all. 5, can physically or at soul level alter alternative dimensions. Level 6, doesn't live in ordinary world near us, or highly magical. Level 7 is ascendant, travels great distances within dimensions, and changes the nature of dimensions. Did that help you at all? Okay, interdimensional versus transdimensional. So it's hyper, and well, I don't care about, oh my God. Oh, that's my OBS. I forget that I was sharing over there. I'm sorry. My bad. That's not helping you. That's not helping you guys. That was my OBS. Sorry, I forgot that I was sharing it over there on that screen. Oh, I thought she was talking about what you guys were seeing on the screen. Hyperdimensional of or pertaining to a system having more dimensions than naturally observed in our use. So a game of tic-tac-toe in 4 dimension is hyperdimensional. So I'm thinking hyperdimensional is you can be in more. Oh, okay. More dimensions at the same time, where interdimensional, you can only be one dimension. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So hyperdimensional, you can stretch out across the dimensions, and then interdimensional is you can only be in one dimension at the same time. Okay. That's cool though. That's what I love about you guys. You guys aren't afraid to ask questions, and I'll definitely try to give you the best knowledge as I can when it comes to this stuff. You know what I mean? Okay, so he even has proof of his operation in the form of an odd crease across the base of his skull. He's not, okay, he is humble. Yeah, even comparing himself to biblical Moses. In 1969, Owen would finally write a book on all this entitled How to Contact Space People. And then in 1970, he began to engage in a series of ominous displays of his supposed power, which ranged from the odd to the absurd. And he would simultaneously sort of fly off the rails, in a way becoming more of a supervillain than a superhero. Owens had made a lot of predictions that no one really took seriously, and it did not help that in general was largely ignored by the scientific community, who did nothing to try and test his powers and mostly just blew him off. So I can understand having a little complex with the scientific community, but like, hey, I'm trying to show you something, you know. But anyway, in response to this, he began to make a sinister claims that he was going to create destruction on a wide scale. On many occasions, having people sign affidavits of what he said in order to prove that he was right, and some which spookily seemed to come true. Yeah, I agree, Andy. Yeah, Freaky Geek. I definitely agree with both of you. He does sound like that. I mean, I can understand getting pissed off at the scientists, but having an ego like that, yeah. In May of 1972, he told people that he was going to cause mass lightning storms, blackouts, and accidents in the city of Cleveland, Illinois. And sure enough, on that summer, there was a massive freak storm that caused a citywide blackout, numerous accidents, and 3 deaths by lightning strikes. Well, that's kind of scary. In October of the same year, he said he was going to create an unusually warm winter in Virginia. And he destroyed our weather. That's what it is. See, like, I know of weather magic and everything like that, and you have to be very careful because you're taking it from somewhere else. Like, say I was in a drought, which last year we were, and I didn't even think about. But anyway, we're in a drought, right? And I call rains. It's like, Indian dancing. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's how I do it, but I have to think about where that rain is coming from. Do you know what I mean? So I'm taking away from somebody else's rain that might need it or might be in a drought to take care of it. It's selfish, basically. If that, not necessarily. I mean, maybe. I mean, if they found out about it, yes, Andy. But that's true. Yeah, especially around when was men looking at sheep? Could be for that's what it is. They're using your bagors. Right. That's what I was thinking about, Andy. I'm like, when was men and sheep or men staring at sheep? They definitely could have used this guy, but they might not want him though, because he's so eager to talk about his powers. If that makes sense too. You have to look at it from that perspective too. Yeah, I work for the government. This is what I do. I remote view for them. I move things, and you know what I mean? The government be like, this guy's giving us a bad rap because, we didn't do that ourselves. So October of that same year, he was going to create an unusually warm winter in Virginia, and this came to pass. He also claimed to be behind highly bizarre weather that caused vast damage to crops in Texas in 1974, as well as myriad other droughts, floods, hurricanes, freak storms, earthquakes, fires, plane crashes, and other calamities all over the world through the 70s, of which was eerily went down as predicted. Owens was also known to accurately predict waves of UFO sightings and claim that he could make UFOs appear wherever and wherever he wanted. Andy. Owen often uses his supposed powers to try and earn some sort of financial gain. On several occasions, he offered to make disasters go away in return for cash, such as several times when he even used his own supposed powers to try and sabotage sport games. That's what I would do. Not sabotage them, but I would, use my powers to know who the hell's going to win. Threatening disasters or team losses if he wasn't paid. He would claim that SLS have increased my mental power. But see, again, that's a lot of, I don't know. Because if that is your world that you're creating, that you have those powers, as much as you really believe it, it could be possible. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Right, Andy? I believe that. I agree with that. See, so many things I'm like so back and forth. I don't know. But having an ego like that, yeah, you definitely karma's a bitch. He on many occasions tried to blackmail teams for large amounts of money, although no one actually seems to ever have been no although no one ever actually seems to have ever paid. He even used his tactic during a spell of homelessness he suffered, threatening that there would be a major war in the US if he wasn't taken off the streets and given money. This war never materialized. I think throughout. I mean, you can manipulate weather, definitely, if you have enough, belief in yourself. You can really do anything if you have enough belief in yourself, but you got to have that ego drop down there a bit. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I know, Lisa, right? I totally agree. The government, and like Andy said, why isn't the government snatched him up? That's what I'm saying. But I mean, damn. My experience with Ted Owens started in 19. Oh, this. I'm sorry.
Can you do a BRB? Miss King needs you.
Oh, give me 1 second, guys. I got to go on BRB right back. I will be right back. All right. As soon as I find my BRB. I'll be right back, guys.
I don't know if she's still at the door or she went downstairs.
All right, guys, I'm coming. Ugh. I'm back. Hey, guys. Let me catch my breath for a minute. Sorry about that. Oh. Yeah, like I said, sorry about that. One of my groups called and had to talk to me about, everything that was going on and see if we're still open for the summer and stuff like that. Thank you, Beth. Thank you for Geek. Oh, goodness. I hate stairs. Yeah, so I am back. Is everybody still here? A bunch of people probably left. Hey, Through the Veil, how are you? Welcome. Welcome. I thank you guys for hanging out and staying through the BRB. I appreciate it so much. You guys are awesome. Hope all is well with you through the veil. How you doing? I am doing good. Thank you so much for asking. All right, so where were we? Talking about Ted Owens here. Again, I apologize for that. The group, a lot of my tourist groups, like to talk to me and make sure that I know what's going on, obviously up to date. Lisa, it's a tough decision, huh? Oh, nice, through the veil. Very cool. Good luck. I hope the ghosties come out for you. I do. I hope they. I thank you guys for staying. I really do. The person that's running the desk, has no clue about doing the groups or anything or what we're talking about, and stuff like that. So, of course, living here with, well, not in the same room, obviously, but with my general manager and everything, we talk all the time about it. So he keeps me up to date. I keep him up to date. We're all kosher, even though I'm not really working. I still have to run down and do some stuff once in a while. Like the other day, I answered 40 emails. Oh, that's always fun. So, yeah. Okay, here we go. Back to Mr. Ted Owens. So throughout all of this, Owens was still mostly seen as a loon, and he was known to seek attention by relentlessly contacting publishers, newspapers, scientists, and government agencies, whoever would listen, trying to get them to take him seriously. In 1979, he began constantly badgering a military historian and news correspondent for the National Enquirer by the name of Wayne Grover, saying that he was going to spend the year providing a hardcore demonstration of his abilities on the state of Florida. It got off to a pretty rocky start, to say the least, and Grover writes of all of this. My experience with Ted Owens started in 1979 when Owens contacted me at the Enquirer. He portrayed himself as PK Man and said he could predict events and he controlled the world's weather. Owen claims were met with skepticism by both myself and my editor, Don Horan, and I told Owens so. Angered, Owens responded by saying that he could prove his abilities. He also said that he could produce UFOs on demand. Horan gave Owens a chance to produce UFO sightings on demand, and we arranged to have him and several witnesses, including a scientist, meet all for an all-night vigil. The bottom line was that Owens said UFOs were seen. One witness agreed, but two others said they did not see them. We did not run the story. Owens, who had wanted a forum for his predictions, was very angry and felt betrayed by the Enquirer, and particularly by Don Horan, the editor. Owens called me and made a following prediction for the year. I will bring 3 June hurricanes to life and bring one right over the Enquirer. Furthermore, I will use my PK powers to destroy Don Horan's life for crossing me. Man, he sounds like a sad mofo. He will lose his job and his wife, and he will regret the day he laughed at me. However, according to Grover, a lot of what Owens had threatened began to actually come true. Southern Florida really suffered the worst drought it had in 40 years. There indeed was a series of freak hurricanes, and Horan's life was plagued by misfortune and personal problems, eventually getting fired and also having his wife leave him. Through all of this, Owens continued to regularly contact Grover to make various predictions and threats, and it would be soon noticed that Grover noticed that many of these things would come beyond coincidence. Grover would say of this as the correspondence and how bizarreness. Yeah, he did have a big chip on his shoulder. He really did. But I mean, in planning, especially with Grover, or the editor there, or the boss, having Hearn's life being plagued with misfortune, planting that seed in somebody's brain doesn't help either. And at least that's what I think. I mean, I could be wrong. Owens and I then spoke several times, and he liked me enough to take me into his confidence. Over a more than 5-year period, Owens phoned me several times a week, usually after midnight, and predicted dire events about to happen, including earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, and violent events worldwide. Within 2 days or so, I always received the same prediction via letter, often accompanied with some strange drawing of unknown symbols and signed PK Man. The predictions usually were about 5 to 10 days before the actual event took place. When they did, I very often heard them on the news, and a dozen of times told my wife, another coincidence for Owens. When the event took place, he copied the news stories and sent me copies. The pattern was predict by phone, send written backup, send news clips of the event predicted. As much as I didn't want to believe Owens, the long stream of coincidences went on. At one time, I estimated that some flexibility on matter of timing, Owens' predictions were about 80% accurate. It was enough to make Grover take notice and start to think that maybe there was something to it all, even going as far as to beg Owens to stop the drought and call off the hurricane that was heading towards the state. Amazingly, after this, the hurricane weakened considerably. Grover says that Owens seemed to have taken a liking to him and diverted catastrophe, that word, for him because he was the only one who believed him. Grover explains. In September of 1979, when Hurricane David was heading towards West Palm Beach, I spoke to Owen about 2 a.m. the night of the approach. I told him thousands of people would have made homeless because of the manufactured hurricane was bearing down on us. It is an unusual softening, he said something like, I don't want to hurt you or your family or others needlessly. I'll ask my SLS to turn the cane away from you. Keep watching the TV to see what happens. By 5 a.m, the local TV weather had the National Hurricane Center on air with news coordinates for the storm. It had suddenly stopped moving towards West Palm and was veering northward away from us. We got fringe winds, but nothing more. Owens called about 7 and said, that was for you, Wayne. I didn't believe it was possible, but the series of events went on as Owens said they would. I logged that information into the delusional category and didn't worry about it. In the next hurricane season, Florida was again threatened by a large storm bearing down on us, and Owens called and warned me to get to high ground. I informed him that there was no high ground here. Well, I'll move it away from you, Wayne said, because you are the only one to believe me. That hurricane devastated Charleston, South Carolina the next day. During the storm season, I had contact with Owens. He told me he would keep Florida clear of killer canes. True to his word, the hurricanes went north of us, south, turned in an open Atlantic, and dissipated with the sheer winds blowing up their tops off. Sorry, Andy, you'll have to watch this over again. Catastrophe. That's the word. See, it always comes to me after. I don't know what you would call that, but, Missy not knowing how to read, that's what you call it. I so feel that. All right. This correspondence with Grover, which is most contact Owens had ever had with anyone directly, ended just bizarrely as it started. After a period of going silent in 1987, Owens suddenly contacted Grover again to inform him that he had moved to upstate New York. Lovely. In order for him and his family to be picked up by a UFO. After that, there would be no further contact from him. Grover says of this last mysterious call, Andy. Suddenly, Owens went silent for months. Then in 1987, he called me from upstate New York and said he had moved his family there to be picked up by UFOs. He sent me several drawings his son, Bo, had made a vertically long, non-saucer-like UFO that kept hovering over his rural home, as well as newspaper clippings reporting local UFO sightings and an affidavit to say effect from a neighbor. There was a flurry of calls, and then one last one whose contents were very strange, and I chose to keep private. Suffice to say, the predictions of the last conversations changed my life and caused me to wonder where science leaves off and the unknown begins. My wife was witness to the events that followed and shares with me in the wonderment of it. Apparently, he never made it to the final UFO trip because, according to official records, Owens died in 1987 of cirrhosis of the liver, leaving many mysterious behind. Besides Grover, there was a handful of people who believed in his abilities to some extent. Perhaps the most well-known of these was the parapsychologist Jeffrey Mishlove, who carefully studied all of the Owens claims and predictions throughout his life, including the 1979 Florida predictions he had made and even the 1986 explosion of the Space Shuttle Challenger. Mishlove came to the conclusion that Owen was correct more often than he accounted for by blind chance and said this of the Florida predictions. Yeah, exactly, Lisa. It certainly took through Florida's 1979 weather was somehow manipulated. It certainly looks as Florida's 1979 weather was somehow manipulated by Ted Owens. The coincidence between the psychic's pronouncements and the resultant changes in Florida's weather are too numerous and exact to be dismissed. Mitchell would write a whole book on Ted Owens entitled The PK Man, A True Story of Mind Over Matter, which is the most complete record of one man's life. Mitchell came to conclusion that Owens really did have an incredible, potent psychic powers, which he attributes to some sort of intelligence energy that he was able to harness. Mishlove says there are too many things in Owen's life that cannot be coincidence, and in the end admits it, that while he cannot fully explain the phenomena, that science is ill-equipped to explain the phenomena reported herein. He does not temper with it all with a bit of he does temper it all with a bit of skepticism, saying that Owens was often wrong in stating the newspapers are full of unusual events. Every day something unusual occurs, and it's not always the result of psychokinesis. However, for the most part, Mishlove thought there was more to this, and also expressed that he was very afraid of Owens, a sentiment that is reflected by the few others who choose to actually listen to his wild stories. In the end, there doesn't seem to be any constituent of people who actually bought all this, and no one has been most relegated to the fringe. There are certainly skeptics who have painted him as a delusional weirdo who sought to promote himself and instill terror in his own demented way. We are left to ask, was Ted Owens a charlatan, a scam artist, or mentally unstable individual? Or was there perhaps anything more to this? Whatever the ultimate answer is, he remains one of the most bonkers alien contactee accounts out there, for better or worse. It could be, Andy. Thank you for still watching, Eli. I appreciate it. HAARP's up here in Alaska. Yes, it is. HAARP doesn't do the weather though. Well, it can. I mean, it shoots ions into the atmosphere, which I don't understand why we have to do that, but that's why it was shut down apparently, but who knows. But that was definitely interesting. And see, I believe that every single one of us has that power to manipulate everything in our life. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, like I've said before, for the new people watching, I know like Freaky Geek has heard me say this. I don't know who else, Diary and all of them have heard me say this, that I struggle with my brain struggles with most of it because I'm a very scientific person, which from watching me, you wouldn't really think that, but I'm very scientific when it comes to this. Like I have manifested things in my life through my witchcraft that have come true, and I know they've come true, and I know it's the power inside of me that has made it come true, right? But yet my scientific mind is like, well, how the hell did you do that? Why is this possible? Where is this coming from? That type of thing. So it's like I'm in a constant battle with myself when it comes to stuff like this. And this is why I share stories like this, because I want to see what you guys think about this sort of thing. I haven't, Lisa, but I've heard about them. Jesse Ventura, I'm telling you, he's got, yeah. I mean, I like to watch everybody when it comes to stuff like this. Yeah, exactly. I think everybody controls the power to create their own world. You know what I mean? Excuse me. Jeez. It's a movie about a vet. Jesse Ventura. You don't know who Jesse Ventura is, Freaky Geek? He was a wrestler turned politician. Oh, yes. Yeah, Ace Ventura. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, I know what you're... Pet detective. But yeah, I mean, I think we all possess it, but it depends on how much we believe in ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like when I sit there and when I'm analyzing things that, like if I'm putting a spell out or whatnot, I know where the power comes. And I mean, I put a lot of, it's hard to explain, but if I want something really bad, I can get it, and that's not ego talking. I'm think about it constantly makes me sick. I mean, when I put out spells, there's some that it makes me sick because I'm constantly thinking about it and constantly, even though you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to send it out into the world. I think that's why different things work for me when it comes to law of attraction and shit like that. Oh, probably, Lisa. I'll have to check it out, definitely. I love all different kinds of stories like this. You know me. You guys have been watching me long enough to know that I'm weird. But I don't mind being weird. I'm me. So, the next story comes from the United Kingdom. And it's a haunted doll that seemingly hates men. That doll almost reminds me. I don't know if any of you guys watch James the Fan. That doll almost reminds me of that, or at least the back of it with the like paper mache shredding. Lee and Lindsay Steer are no subjects to the paranormal world. Paranormal world even, not word. They own the Haunted Objects Museum Poltergeist House in Rotherham. Did I say that right, Andy? Really, Lisa? Can you feel that? Seriously? That'd be awesome if you could tell that. Dolls. That's wild. Or are you talking about James the Fan? Rotherham? Really? Is that Rotherham? So it's not ham? It's Rotherham. That's gonna take some time. That's gonna take some time to settle in. I'll get there eventually. That's why I have you on my side. Which is reportedly quite haunted. In addition to the paranormal activity in the house, they own several of the world's most haunted items, which are showcased around the museum. Okay, I'll try to remember that. That's going to take a little bit to settle in, just because it's, Yeah, I get you. Some of the most haunted areas in the museum include the Crying Boy Room, where a Victorian-era man burnt to death. Lindsay and others claims to have lost their breath every time they walked into that room. Additionally, the spirits of a boy and girl are said to haunt another room that contains 172 dolls. Items in the museums that have thrown around. I will tell you that most paranormal haunted museums, they take really good care of this stuff. It's like a museum. You know what I mean? They know how to deal with it. Have a great day, Eli. Take care, hon. Be safe. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Andy. yeah, bloody foreigners. But yeah, a lot of museums, when it comes to the paranormal and haunted museums, they do take very big precautions. At least haunted museum directors that I know take very big precautions and treat the items with the respect that they deserve and need, if that makes sense. So they lost their breath, and every time they walked in a room. Additionally, the spirits of a boy and girl are said to haunt another room that contains 172 dolls. Items in the museums have been thrown around, and an apparition of a white lady had been seen on the stairs. The majority of the activity is said to happen in the formal bridal shop. Oh, that's a creepy doll. Not the doll mentioned in this article. Just so you know, that's what it says. Several people. Oh, crap. Okay. Several people who have visited the museum have had terrifying encounters. Lindsay remembers a time when a girl was visiting the location and was attacked by a spirit. She'd been scratched all up and down her back, and other people have come in and reported the same, which is a little bit disturbing. I haven't, Andy. Oh, that was your picture of your ex-wife? Oh, okay. I haven't. I need to even venture out into old, yeah. Wow. It's getting that time, huh? Old Valdez. But I'm freaking scared of bears. She recalled another frightening event that happened. One particular chap who wanted to overcome his fears went around with a team who were investigating. And when he came out, the marks of the cross had been opened from an open Dybbuk box was scratched onto his back like someone had gotten a nail and etched it. Lindsay explained, adding, because of the area it was in, he could not have done it himself, and he was with people the whole time. Needless to say, the man never returned to the museum. Oh, yes, they're nice. I don't shoot guns, Andy. And we don't shoot bears here. We beanbag them back into where they need to go. Well, yeah, we have all them. We have grizzly, we have black bears, brown bears, grizzly bears. We have all of them. We have all, and we have, yeah, I can shoot it into the air. That's true. But we do have those tourists that like to go down where the bears are to get pictures. Last year there was not from here in Valdez, but one of the parts in Alaska where somebody went out and got mauled because they were trying to get a selfie with a bear. It's not something I want to see. Oh, that's a beautiful doll too. I've seen that doll before. I don't know where though. Not the doll mentioned in the article. So, I love nature too, Lisa. One of the most haunted items is a doll that's supposedly possessed by a woman named Elizabeth. In fact, she is so terrifying that she's been referred to as the most haunted doll in all of United Kingdom and the 5th most haunted doll in the entire world. We do have Grandpa Grizzly up here, though. Grandpa, what the hell is that? Is it Grandpa Bear? I don't know. I think to add, ooh, look at those dolls effect. But yes, I know about the short-faced doll, or the short-faced bear. Yes. No, it's like Grandpa Bear or something like that. It could be Goldilocks. I don't think so. But we have that. It's where, because we have polar bears too, of course. So it's where a grizzly, they think, because of the tone of the hair, like it's only been captured a couple times on film, not captured, like captured. It's Lisa, if you join my forum, I'm going to start putting all the articles that I got this from in my forum for Fridays. But anyway, I know. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, because of the tone of it, the tone and color of the hair, or the fur, they think it's a polar bear mixed with a grizzly bear somehow. Yeah, exactly, Freaky. Yeah. It's huge. It's freaking huge. Like, I can't even, like, huge. That's why it's called Grandpa. And it's been in Alaska for many, 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 many years. That's true. That's true. So let's see. Lee bought the doll after the previous owner claimed that it kept attacking her husband and causing unexplained activity throughout the house. The woman wanted to get rid of it because of it setting off fire alarms at night, and her husband was getting scratch marks, and the myth is that the doll scratches married men, he explained. She would have visions of at night seeing the doll walking down her path, and there's a spot of blood on the doll which seems to sometimes disappears. And oddly enough, Lee's father had suffered from several unexplained injuries while in the presence of the Elizabeth doll. My dad once woke up scratch marks down his arm when he was watching a live stream, out of the hundreds of items I got, this is the only one where he said to me, "You need to think about this one." Now that's creepy. You can see a picture of the Elizabeth doll here. Okay. Are you ready? Warning that I'm bringing up the picture of the doll. Oh, that thing right there creeps me out. Is that the doll? Seriously? I didn't say Yorkshire. I didn't even try to pronounce it. Oh, apparent. Oh, they got a lot of. Is that the? I don't know what the doll is. Oh, wow, they got lots of dolls. Well, I wouldn't hate. I wouldn't. That's like no. I don't know. For some reason, that's wrong. That's like duct taping a child to the wall. Oh, I snorted. That's just wrong. Luke, you are my son. I know, right? Apparently, that's them. I wish I had the names of this. I used to have a bunch of those dolls. Oh, I froze up. There we go. Oh, that one's got an awkward feel to it. Anybody else? Yeah, exactly, Freaky Geek. They're treating them like bugs. Yeah, see, I definitely don't agree with the way they're. Oh, that looks like the crying boy. Does that not look like the crying boy? No, thank you. See, those are okay. I don't mind them. But yeah, that one gives me. Is that her? Because that gives me a freaky feeling. Yeah, probably a copy of it. But what the hell's that? Oh, they just must be showing their museum. I'm really not getting, except that one doll. I'm not really getting a feeling. I mean, I'm not a doll person anyway. I would still want that. It's purple. It looks like it's under a black light or something. I don't know. And it's probably one. I guarantee this planchette glows in the dark. Oh, now that's a little creepy. I don't get a weird feeling. It's just the sight of that looks like. Really, Andy? I don't know. Something about. I think it's the chin mostly because it's not a normal like looking chin on a doll for some reason. But just don't scare it. It's just the sight of it kind of creeps me out. But I'm not getting any feeling from these dolls. Well, there you go, Andy. That's the way to do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, one doll look at the other. See, no, that's creepy to me. I don't know why, but that's just creepy to me. They're like they can make a plan. It's like brothers and sisters. You know, when they're quiet, you don't know what they're thinking about or planning. No, see, I don't. Yeah, I used to have a bunch of those dolls. I collected porcelain dolls when I was younger. Well, Andy, you don't have to worry about watch or looking at these because, you know, you got an ex-wife. A family of kids when you were young. Oh, I don't like. Oh, and they got mirrors in there. Now, mirrors, you know how I feel about mirrors. Yeah. I seriously don't like them. I'm like, are they nailed to the wall? What's going on there? I mean, I seriously do not like. I mean, no, they don't have a little thing. I was thinking that they had the stands like nailed to the wall or something. That I could understand. Yeah, that one looks burnt. Yeah, that's it. It don't tell you which one is which. It does look burned, don't it? But yeah, I think because of the way the cheeks and the chin are, I don't know. That's creepy, a little creepy. She's a little creepy to me. Oops. But that's just me. I don't know. That's what I'm wondering, Andy. I want to know. She doesn't bother you either, Lisa? I don't know. For some reason. I don't know. Now I'm froze up. Oh. Hi Claire, how you doing, hon? Now I'm froze up. Okay. So what's your guys's yeah, I could see that, Andy. I mean, not that I know you're. All right, hurry back, freaky geek. I'm doing good. What, Ron, the crying boy? There's a couple ghosts of Britain. Yeah, Claire, of course. Hey, Sammy, how you doing? Welcome, welcome. So what's your guys' take on Planet 9? What do you guys think about Pluto? Pluto will always be a planet to me. I can tell you that. It definitely could have, Andy. It definitely could have. That does sound familiar, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't know. So this is, yeah, Pluto was a planet. I don't care what anybody says. I feel like when they sat there and how am I at a motherly role? You'd have to ask my kids about that. Yes, I am a mom. I have 3 children. No. Oh, okay. I thought you meant planet. Hey, Anton, how you doing? Happy Friday to you as well. Um, yes, yeah, Pluto is a planet. Nibiru, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Nibiru. Oh, good question, Ron. It could be. Maybe that was the one they were talking about, Elizabeth. So, a new case against the existence of Planet 9. When we can finally get back to having family gatherings again, won't that be a wonderful day? 3 things that we all still are perhaps even more taboo to discuss are politics, religion, and the existence of Planet Nine, especially if the other party guests are still mourning and protesting the demotion of Pluto to a dwarf planet. I don't care if Pluto's I don't care if it's a dwarf planet. It's still Pluto to me. It's still a planet. Anyway, this rule applies for Planet X this is Planet X, Nibiru as well, both of which can prompt saucer throwing of the plate kind. However, if you're brave enough to test the subject, a new study may help defend the position or denial or doubt in the existence of Planet Nine. Let's get ready to rumble. Welcome back Through the Veil. No worries, no worries. We test whether the population of extreme trans-Neptune objects detected in the Y4 Dark Energy Survey data exhibit Azul asymmetries, which might be evidence of gravitation perpetuations from an unseen super-Earth in a distant orbit. Blah. That's right, Andy. It ain't the size that counts. So, when the subject to the DES selection function reproduces the detected distribution of ETNOs in the orbital elements A, E, and I as well, absolute magnitude H but has uniform. Yeah, I'm not even going to do this. There's just so much shit. But anyway, I brought that up because apparently he is, Ron. The DES data taken on its own are thus consistent with the isotropy, do not require Planet Nine hypothesis. There are just too many big words in one sentence. But I brought it up because I wanted to argue that I still believe Pluto is a planet. I don't know about Nibiru, though. I don't know. I don't know if it's really there or not. What do you guys think? I mean, I know what Andy thinks. But do you guys think Planet Nibiru is a real planet? Or do you think we're just... What if you don't think Nibiru is a planet, a real planet, what do you think that they saw? I think I stopped watching NASA, or not stopped watching NASA, but listening to everybody when they demoted Pluto. That's when I stopped listening to everything. So when Nibiru came around and stuff like that, I heard it, but I didn't look into it. You'll remain to look lost. Yeah, I know. I do know that acronym, Andy. That's so true. As a matter of fact, I have this UFO thing about NASA in one of the stories. So we move on to hopefully better words that I know. I am very scientific, but when it comes to like reading it, I have no problem reading it. Speaking it, that's a whole nother story because I have problems with saying the sometimes, you know. So animals of the time-traveling kind. Is it possible for some creatures that have fallen into the field of cryptozoology, such as mammoths, large cats, or even pterodactyls, might be entering into our reality by time travel? Of course, there's no hard evidence that time travel, see, of the kind portrayed in H.G. Wells' novel, The Time Machine, in the 1985 movie Back to the Future, and in 12 Monkeys, is possible. I still have yet to see that movie. Right, right. I get that, Nicole. I totally do. And you and Ron are just nuts. Welcome back, Freaky Geek. One of the most famous example dates back to 1901. It becomes known as the Moby Jourdain incident. As Stefan Andrews notes at the Vintage News, on August summer day in 1901, two women by the names of Charlotte Ann Moberly and Eleanor Jourdain were walking in the gardens near the Petit Cranion in the palace. They were in France. Okay, it should have been a normal vacation for the two British academics, but they reported the most unusual experience. It apparently began with an unnatural feeling of oppression and dreariness. Then the two women allegedly saw a host of phantom-like figures, including Marie Antoinette. The Petit Tryon, which was gifted to her by Louis. Hold on. 16th in 1774, was a favorite retreat. Sorry, I had to do my English math. Was a favorite retreat of the French queen. The odd occurrence, which the woman concluded was a time slip, led them to issue a book about it in 1911. Yeah, a ghost. Obviously, I mean, if they really saw that boy just ain't right. So true. Is that your nickname, Freaky Geek Monkey? There are some through the veil. There are some time travel photos. Oh, yeah. What did I say? The 26th? Is that what I said? Seriously? Yes, I knew Louis the 16th. I know it's. Did I really say that? I won't even acknowledge that comment, Ron. Oh, did I say Louis? Oh. Come on. Listen, I'm going over my time here. You know how I get when I get past the 2-hour mark? I get delusional and read my own shit. My own words. Like so many cases of claimed time travel, there are down-to-earth explanations for events in 1901. But what of time travel in the animal kingdom? I have a few cases on file that some might suggest are evidence of time travel in the world of animals. To me, Lisa, that's probably fake news. We begin with a pterodactyl, and I really believe that something goes on where me and Freaky Geek, I remember we were talking about this, how people see clusters of these cryptids and then they're gone for a couple months or years or even decades. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if they're time slips. Maybe they are time slips when the pterodactyl, I mean, there's always a bunch of sightings about the pterodactyl and then they're gone. I don't believe media, Lisa. That's my problem. I don't believe the media. I don't believe anything. There are snippets of truth in there, but you got to figure out what is true and what's not. But there's. Through the veil. I believe that. I know. I love how, for the longest time, my son had my oldest daughter believing she was an alien, that she was dropped off on our porch. And she really believed that for the longest time. So we'll begin with the pterodactyl seen in the UK. Yes, you did read that correct. From 1982 to 1983, a wave of sightings of such creature, presumed extinct for millions of years, occurred in the area called Pennines, also known as the backbone of England. Did I say that right, Andy? I'm thinking panini bread. Oh, really? For real? I thought she was just threatening, or that she was going to call it to come get you or something. Pennines? See, this is why I love Andy being here. Okay, called the. It does look like paninis, though, right? I so know what that means, freaky. Pennines. Okay, well, they're the backbone of England, by the way. It's a story that, in much lengthier fashion, can be found in Jenny Randall's excellent 2002 book, Supernatural Pennines, and in issue 9 of the UFO Britannica. Yeah. A much missed magazine of the 1980s and 90s, which was edited and published by Andy Roberts. Well, that's true. That's true, Andy. So far as can be determined, the first encounter occurred at the place of the highly apt nickname of Devil's Punch Bowl on September 12th, 1982. This is when a man named William Green came forward with an astonishing story of what he encountered at Shipley Glen Woods. It was a large gray-colored creature that flew haphazard style and which possessed a pair of large leathery-looking wings. The latter point is notable since it effectively rules out the significantly sized feather bird and does not indeed place matters into a pterodactyl category. 72 hours later, a woman named Jean Schofield had the misfortune to see the immense beast at the West Yorkshire town of Yeadon. That the thing was heading for Leeds Bradford Airport provoked fear in Jean's mind of a catastrophic mid-air collision between passenger plane and the mighty winged thing. You know what the thing of it is I would have thought the same thing. I wouldn't have flew that day because that thing was up in the air flying. All right. Through the Veil, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming in. I hope you have a wonderful day. It may be Freaky Geek. That would be cool, right? No. Now listen, she didn't drop no acid. Andy, are you one of those people that believe in ghosts but can't believe in cryptoids? No, I seriously, if I saw a huge winged bird, okay, I definitely probably wouldn't have gotten on. Probably oxymoron there. Anyone? I definitely wouldn't have flown. I almost didn't fly knowing that there was a tornado ahead of me. Yeah, if I saw a Thunderbird, pterodactyl, I don't care. Mothman, I don't care. I wouldn't have flown. Thing's going to run into my plane. Or it's going to end up being like the gremlin on the airplane there. That's just how I feel. And that is until the weird encounter were suddenly over. had the clearly extinct creature enter into a different time frame and then left it? It's a good theory as any. Now let's look at the mammoth. Yeah, Thunderbird. I love Thunderbirds. Jill O'Brien had a she was in Alaska. Jill O'Brien had a bizarre encounter in September 2008 in the wilds of Alaska. As Jill watched with a mixture of awe and shock, nothing less than a mini mammoth raced past her and vanished. Gone. When I asked Jill to explain what she meant, she said that the baby animal was suddenly enveloped by a small black cloud which sucked into itself and disappeared. The entire that could have been some whiskey going on there. Jill was, however, very sure of what she had seen. In her opinion, it was nothing less than the ghost of a long dead mammoth. Maybe that's exactly what it was. On the other hand, though, perhaps the mammoth briefly entered our reality via time travel. But that happens, though. Hey, Shrimp Shack, how you doing? I do believe that stuff like that happens just because of the simple fact there's so many sightings and then they're gone. That could be, Andy. Good to hear, Shrimp Shack. Moving on, what about the Smilodon? Smilodon. Apparently that looks... That's the Smilodon. He's not smiling, I don't think. Moving on, is or a saber-toothed tiger, as it's popularly known. Yeah, it's a saber-tooth. Let's see. As far as what the saber-toothed tiger was, we have these words from UCMP Berkeley. Smilodon is a relatively recent saber-tooth from the late Pleistocene. It went extinct about 10,000 years ago. Fossils have been found all over North America and Europe. Smilodon fossils from the Labrador tar pits include bones that show evidence of serious crushing or fractured injuries or crippling arthritis and other degenerative diseases. Such problems would have been debilitating for a wounded animal. Yet many of these bones show extensive healing and regrowth, indicating that even crippled animals survived for some time after their injuries. How did they survive? It seems most likely that they were cared for, or at least allowed to feed by other saber-toothed cats. So, according to Jenny Burroughs, on the particular day in 2009, she had been walking through the woods with her pet Labrador dog Bobby when it suddenly stopped in its track, whined loudly, and dropped to the floor shaking. Thinking that her faithful pet had possibly had a seizure, Jenny quickly bent down to comfort the dog and could see that it was staring intently to the left. Following Bobby's gaze, Jenny was horrified to see moving in undergrowth what looked like a large cat, like a mountain lion, but much bigger. And that's kind of like you guys are seeing those big cats of England, aren't you, Andy? I wouldn't either, Freaky Geek. Yeah, Lisa, that's what it sounds like. It's like they all came together and helped heal these cats back to health, which is wild. You don't think about that, you know? That the creature was possibly a mountain lion quite understandably filled Jenny's mind with nothing but dread. However, that dread was impelled to see a stratospheric proportions when its face could clearly be seen, including two huge teeth that were the absolute hallmark of the saber-toothed tiger. As Jenny said to me with much justification, you don't have to work in a zoo to know that what a saber-toothed tiger looks like. Everyone knows. And indeed they do. Then things got stranger. In Jenny's own words, as the saber-toothed tiger monster loomed fully into view and out of the confines of the bushes and undergrowth, she could see that its body seemed to be semi-transparent, and that the bottom of its front paws were missing or invisible. It looked at me with a sort of surprise when it saw me watching it, and then it was gone. Just like that. It was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. But it too was a beautiful animal. Seeing it was scary, but a privilege to see it. Oh, really? Are you serious, Andy? Or is it? Oh, is it a sore subject? I'm sorry. That could be too, Lisa. You don't know. Yeah, I seen those, Andy. I believe I seen them. I mean, it could be different ones. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, you never know. Oh, it scarcely needs stating that saber-toothed tigers are long gone, and the same goes with mammoths and pterodactyls. Yet people claim to have seen them in relatively recent times and in clearly strange situations. Are we seeing occasional examples of time travel? Have animals briefly and unknowingly leaped from the past to the present and then back again via an occasional rifts in time? I have no idea. There is certainly no way to prove such an outrageous theory, at least not yet. It is, however, as intriguing scenario to muse on when it comes to the matter of out of place animals, and that goes with Bigfoot. I think that's what he does or she does. I think it's a he more than anything. But well, yeah. Look at the not ladybugs. I brought them up. They're in Florida. Love bugs. Those were man-made insects. Man-made. And it's fact-based. You can look it up from the company itself. Or just ask Eddie. He'll tell you. He lived in Florida for 13 years. Really? That's wild, Andy. That's really wild. Andy. That's so wrong. So wrong in so many different ways. But funny. I will give you that. I hope I didn't miss anybody coming in or going out. So apparently, here today, gone to here today, gone tomorrow. It's a common expression that dates back to John Calvin's 1549 life and conversion of a Christian man. Unless you're watching Star Trek or a Star Wars movie, it's not something generally heard when discussing a planet until now. Astronomers watching a Jupiter-sized exoplanet discovered in 2008 and tracked for years with the Hubble Space Telescope announced this week that it had disappeared. Did they look around for a Death Star? Love bugs are down in Florida. They were made in Florida. The NASA ESA Hubble Space Telescope has taken the first visible light snapshot of a planet circling another star, estimated to be no more than 3 times Jupiter's mass. The planet, called Fomalhaut b, orbits the bright southern star Fomalhaut, located 25 light years away in constellation Pisces Astronius, the southern fish. You've never heard of love bugs, Lisa? They're a real thing. Let me see. Hold on. God, they're so disgusting looking. Those aren't love bugs. Those are stink bugs. They're not, it's not that they're long, they're always stuck together. They're always mating. Look at those the pesky love bugs invade Florida. They were supposed to, if I remember right, they were made to kill. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ron. Weren't they made to kill mosquitoes or something? Yeah, they're gross. That's a stink bug. I know that. That's not a love bug. That's a stink bug. I don't know if you guys know what stink bugs are, but you kill them and they actually stink. So there's your lesson for today, Lisa. Those are what I was going to say stink bugs. Love bugs are. Right, Andy? I hear that. I'm not a big spider. Unless it's Daddy Longlegs. I love Daddy Longlegs. So you're welcome, Lisa. In 2004, astronomers created the first ever resolve visual light image of a large dust belt surrounding Fomalhaut. In 2005, Hubble astronomer Paul Kallis of the University of California, Berkeley proposed that the ring was being gravitationally modified by a planet lying between the star and the ring's inner edge. And in 2008, a point source of light was photographed, which is named Fomalhaut B. Is that a link? Okay. Its unusual brightness suggests that it's either had a Saturn-like ring or multiple moons, and its orbit followed a strange, non-elliptical path. Still, astronomers were confident Fomalhaut B was a large exoplanet. Yeah, that is that's wild. That is a beautiful picture from Hubble. Not gonna lie. Okay, that's the Fomalhaut B. But is that us? Is it showing back at us? No, because it's, never mind. I'm talking to myself, sorry. So in 2004, it was right there. In 2006, it was right there. That is a gorgeous picture. I know, right? Okay, yeah. A well-flung shoe does the trick. Okay, Ron. All right. I know. No, because the Hubble can turn around and look at us. Yeah, Ron, that I know. That's one thing Eddie used to get pissed about. So anyway, apparently over here is this Fomalhaut B planet they're talking about. Okay. I don't know what that is. I'd really like to know what that is though. I don't know what that. Unless they're talking about that planet. I don't know. Okay, yes, that planet is for. So what the hell is it? All right. So this is the Fomalhaut planet. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're learning together, right? This down here, Fomalhaut B planet. So this is the one that is circling this guy. This is a background star where there's no data. Okay, so we got that, right? This is Fomalhaut. This is the planet circling Fomalhaut. Okay. And like they said, it's either got a lot of moons. I know there is so many topics today. So this is the planet. So this is the one they said either's got a star, a lot of moons, or it's got rings like Saturn because it's so bright, shining up so bright. Okay, so now that we know, its unusual brightness suggested either like Saturn-like ring or multiple moons, and its orbit followed a strange non-elliptical. Yeah, I already read that. To my surprise, it was not present on the latest images. So I went through all the data and started analyzing it and noticed a pattern. It was fading. Why do I got to deal with the begging letters? When I'll sit there and then be one of the beggars, I'll just keep forwarding them then my letters to you. Astronomer Andres Gaspar of the University of Arizona told Vice.com that he was looking for something else when he noticed that the Fomalhaut B had disappeared from Hubble images in 2014. Going back through older images, Gaspar also saw that the planet was visibly fading and its strange orbit was no longer an orbit but an escape trajectory, sending whatever it was out of Fomalhaut's star system. The new data was fed into the models, which showed only one thing could have caused all these anomalies to happen. We do have evidence of such collisions in our systems, but none of this magnitude would have ever been observed. This is a blueprint for how planets destroy each other. Oh, okay, Andy. I got you. See how you are. So, do you think, did it look like this? This was not a confrontation between a giant planet and a Death Star, but a collision between two asteroid-sized bodies orbiting Fomalhaut. Right, yeah, exactly, Andy. A collision that likely occurred just prior to the discovery of the dust cloud by the Hubble astronomers in 2004. Neither of these space objects were planet-sized, but the resulting debris cloud was, and it's fooled them to thinking they had discovered an exoplanet, Fomalhaut B. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah. It's saying dates back to 1651 when it appeared in the Court of Character King James by Anthony Weldon, and it applies to Fomalhaut B and its star. Fomalhaut can be described by yet another mere recent adjective: live fast, die young. That one dates back to 1947. Fomalhaut is a very hot star, which means it will have a short life in star terms. Its heat will keep its dust and debris ring agitated. So there will be more and more of these little asteroid collisions, which means astronomers will be watching it carefully with the Hubble telescope and eventually the James Webb Space Telescope scheduled to launch in 2021. So, I mean, how cool is that, though? I mean, for the longest time, it tells you, it really tells you that like astronomers are like doctors. They really don't know. They really don't know. They think they're seeing one thing and they're seeing another. But it's cool. I do love looking at all the pictures. I'll go through quickly what's going on. The strange case of the message from Mars. So apparently, and I was really disturbed by this. I was not disturbed like in, oh God. So apparently this message came falling out of the skies. Okay. Now we've had reports, the claw monster. No, I don't think I have, unless it's called by a different name. I found out what the siren monster was last night, thanks to my husband, in a jump scare. Yeah, Andy, that's so true. I've seen loads of faces, but yeah, I would love that if you would. That's so cool. But again, is that just pareidolia? Siren monster? It's not real. It's a game. It was formatted by somebody, apparently. I was so intrigued. My husband had me so intrigued last night when he was talking about this video he saw with this siren monster, right? And he's like, the sirens you hear, and I'm thinking, I wasn't thinking like I was thinking the trumpets that people hear. He's like, yeah, they come from this mountain. He was talking, or come from this monster. He was talking about sirens, like, that kind of siren. So he got me so intrigued. I'm like, oh, I mean, that's a good thing to bring up. What if Wednesdays? Like, yeah. And then I watched the video and I'm like, oh my God. Aw, okay. And that better be a cat. See, isn't that weird? Do you see that? Andy's message right there. I wonder if I got a moderator in here. Andy's message is on the screen, but did not come up in chat. Do you guys all see that? Please tell me you do. I'll show you over here. Andy's message right here. You see it in chat? You see it in chat? You see it like you see it, right, Andy? Yeah, because you wrote it. Like Lisa, it said, he's going to show me a picture of his new pussy, basically. Do you guys see that anywhere in chat here? Like on YouTube chat? Pretty wild, right? That's what happened the other day, or a couple weeks ago when I said it. Yeah. Really, Ron? See, that's why I try to keep I'm circling it like you guys can see me circling. That's why I keep looking this way and not at the camera, because I try reading what's on my screen that I can see the chat. No, it didn't, Freaky Geek. It disappeared somehow. I think because of the subjects that I talk about, they're making sure I'm not being naughty. And I have no intention to be naughty or talking about other things. This is stuff that I just ask questions. I don't. Lisa. It's not, Freaky Geek. Do you see it? Do you see the The statement about him sending me pictures about his pussy. If you scroll up, it's not there in the chat. It is on the screen chat of like what you guys see, but it's not in the chat. Anyway, it's all good though. I mean, as long as I catch it. So if I do miss a comment from one of you guys, though, please don't blame me. Oh, see, I seen it the opposite, Freaky Geek. I don't see it in the chat, but I see it on the video. Yeah, I saw that one. That came through both. You just sent one about Eli? See, I missed that. Oh, but you're on YouTube now. See, I didn't see any of that, Ron. I said, the last message I see from you, Ron, is mine does that a lot. And I didn't see it on my video either, Ron. So, yeah. Okay, so anyway, to get back, we have a long history of strange things falling from skies on occasion. Some of the most bizarre things have reported as falling from the heavens, ranging from space junk to meteors to UFOs, some of which are explained and others which remain anomalies. Anomalies. It's like some one of the latter is a case from a remote area of Canada where one day an outlandish stone fell from the sky, seemingly to hold some inscrutable message from alien intelligence. It was a beautiful afternoon in the Cowichan Valley near the Cowichan River in Vancouver Island, British Columbia, Canada. It was a clear and sunny September afternoon in 1908, and 14-year-old Willie McKinnon was working in his father's garden doing his daily chores. It was mundane work, but things were about to get very strange indeed. As Willie told away, he thought he could hear something in the distance that sounded almost like a rumbling train, even though there was no railroad nearby. As he looked around trying to figure out what the sound was, he was startled to realize that it seemed to be getting closer. It was approaching closer and closer, and after a few minutes become deafening as it reverberated through the air. That's when something went whizzing by his head, just barely missing him, only to barrel on and lodge itself into the ground just 8 feet away from him to spray the earth and rocks in all directions and create a shockwave that knocked him off his feet. Oh, is that what you put in the chat, Ron? That's so funny. Gotcha. I gotcha. As soon as the boy checked himself to see that it was not injured, he crept towards. Well, don't try to get me kicked. I'm just putting that out there. As soon as the boy checked him to see that he is not injured, he crept towards where the object had fallen, thinking it had to be a meteorite or a meteor that had luckily managed to miss taking his head off. Yet, as he got closer, he could see that it was no normal meteor. The smoking object in the crater was around 10 inches in diameter and seemed to be completely in one piece. Strangely, it seemed to be a perfect orb with a smooth surface like that of marble. And even more bizarre still, the outer shell appeared to be etched with a series of cryptic glyphs that looked to Willie like Egyptian hieroglyphs. He circled the bizarre stone for a while and then decided to try and move it, only to find out it was immensely hot. That's what happens when things fall out of the sky. Indeed, he would report that it remained too hot to touch for over a half hour, but as soon as it was cool enough, he went about moving it back to the house. Yeah, I seen that, Ron. I could tell you were in D Live. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know who's monitoring the chat. They don't understand that we kid around with each other. But what are you gonna do? Yes, it was the YouTube ninjas. All of a sudden, I get taken down. Anyway, so as I'm reading this, I thought it was pretty cool. No, Lisa, you know what's funny is even though I'm in Alaska, Oregon and Washington have a lot of strange occurrences, and I've never. Was that a bat? What are you talking about, Andy? But like I was saying, I've never studied on how much phenomenon until lately. Like it's never grabbed me of how much phenomenon goes on in Oregon and Washington. And now I gotta. Oh no, that was probably Ron. If you're still in D Live, can you do the ninja again? Above the puke shirt. What are you talking about? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. The shirt on the screen. My shirt? That's the only shirt I know of that's on the screen. What the hell's going on? Oh, over here. Never mind. No, it looks like an alligator or a crocodile trying to eat a golf ball. Yeah, I got it now. I know. I know I should take another pill. They calm the confusion. That's what it is, too. Oh, it won't let me go up. Look at that. That's bad. Okay. What is, oh, that is, yeah, that's one of them really big bats. Yes. I forgot what they're called. You would think, right, Andy? You surely would think that I was naturally blonde. I'm really smarter than this, but I'm tired. Is it a fox bat? Is that what, or a fruit bat? No, fruit bats aren't that big, are they? Let's click on it and see. Oh, it's not going to let me click on it. It won't let me click on it. Yeah. It's lying to me. Those are sponsored stories, but it won't let me get to them. It's rude. They live in Australia, do they? Excuse me. Oh, were they huge, Andy? I thought fruit bats were small, but there was just a lot of them at one time. So anyway, I get excited about this kid finding this thing, you know what I mean? coming out of the sky, but that's not the picture of the thing. Maybe it is. It doesn't say it's not. So, like, they get this thing, it's like a Rosetta Stone from outer space, right? And he kept the stone hidden away and refused to lend it out or sell it. And at the end, it says that it's in private collection, somebody's private collection. Holy crap, that's a big bat, Freaky Geek. And I was really pissed because I would love to see what it really looked like. Unless that is it. I don't know. Usually it says this is not the picture. I had a crystal ball when I lived in Batavia. Well, like, you know where that is. Like, when I lived in New York, I had a big one, big crystal ball. Right? That's true. But it says, interesting, there was a similar case dredged up by the site of message to Ego, which is spooky similar. In this case, the report appeared in November 14th, 1865. It revolved around a Rocky Mountain trapped by the name Mr. James Lumley. And it was the same thing he saw the bright light making its way across the sky before it sporadically breaking apart in the rain of sparks. So were these really Rosetta Stones from space? If so, who sent them and why? Were they ever translated, or if so, what did they say? Unfortunately, considering the scant coverage of these cases, it's difficult to say. If these stones ever did exist, they have slipped through the cracks of history and been forgotten. Maybe collecting dust somewhere. I mean, seriously, that really... Yeah, same here, Lisa. I had years ago. I think I'm going to end it today, except for this one thing. So we have a UFO hunter again accuses NASA of conspiracy as live cam freezes after spotting an alien object. You guys ready?
Hello everyone, this is Scott of ET Database, and I have a UFO appearing in the far left side. Do you see it? Far left side. It's appearing suddenly, and in just a second, NASA goes to red screen. Yeah, it's the legendary blue screen updated. Yes, beautiful, isn't it? Wonderful. I just wanted to share with you that beautiful red screen. Okay, now we're going to it again, but this is a close-up. This is a close-up. There it is. It's showing. Doesn't look like a light reflection to me. It looks like as the sun was they're coming to the lighted side of the Earth from the space station, it looks like the light was beginning to... Oh, there goes the red screen. The light was beginning to reveal a cloaked UFO. It looks like there's a cloaked UFO following the space station, and it was caught as they were entering the lighter side of the Earth. Look at that. That's a close-up. Now it looks totally solid. In just a second, I'm going to show you an inverted color negative view. Look at that. That doesn't look anything like a reflection. Red screen, sorry, that is what was there. Okay, it is what it is. Negative format, guys, negative format. And as you see, it does look like it's cloaked. You can't see anything.
That's the Earth.
There it is. It's showing. And it does look solid. It does look like it's moving also. Look at that. It's like a rectangle. I didn't pause it. It's just there's red screen. I didn't pause the video at all anywhere, and
It's
it's
not red
just
screen, that was
natural.
blue.
Okay, guys, like and subscribe. Tell me what you think you just saw, and I'll make more videos for you very soon. Thank you very much.
Dun dun dun. What do you guys think? So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? You know what's funny is, to me, that looked like a door opening up. Andy. Or Ron, I mean. So to me, it looked like that door. I don't know, Andy. See, this is my take. This is my take with the Black Knight and everything. I believe that if there is aliens, they're always there. They're just cloaked. If that makes sense. They're always cloaked. We can't see them. Although lately, I don't know about you guys. I don't know how long you got, or if you guys look at UFO videos or whatnot. The latest videos I've seen, it seems like more lately, I've been seeing like that video that we just saw, doors opening up, and then aliens coming out of them, or ships coming out of them. Can't do without constantly running. Exactly, right? Yeah, I know, Freaky Geek. Well, it seems like certain platforms are banning all that sort of stuff. But it seems like lately all I've been seeing is like more or less, like I said, the like garage doors opening. And then I don't know why. I don't think so, Ron. Let me check that out. I don't think so, but you never know. Did I would have been really pissed if that wasn't typing. Oh, apparently, hold on. There is a statement. Let me go ahead and share the. Let me get this over here, and this back over here. Give me a second, and I can share the screen. This was back in October 22nd, 2019. Space mysteries for decades. Different discoveries have been linked to a single. Hold on. Well, this doesn't really tell me anything. It didn't say anything. I lied. Yeah, it says not. Although, hold on, once I stop freezing. Where the hell? That's so weird. Okay, see, you know what's weird about this? Is if you can see Come over here. This is what I clicked on, right? According to conspiracy theorists, the Black Knight satellite is alien. To spy on humans has been shot down by elite soldiers from the Illuminati. Oh, yeah. That's what I clicked on. That's what I clicked on. It said nothing about that. It said nothing about it. So apparently if they was shot down, Ron, it was shot down by Illuminati, because that's what this thing says too. Let's see. I don't even see anything from the sites that I usually find stuff from. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Could be, Andy. Could be. Oh, God. Oh, Freaky Geek got me. Thank you so much for the ice cream. Freaky Geek got me. Oh. Oh. Thank you for the ice cream. I appreciate it. It scared me. Did you get to see the jump that time? That's good. I appreciate it though. I really do. So yeah, my whole thing now, right now, when I'm going through what I've been researching, trying to, besides the pyramids that Diary brought up, I am researching them. I plan on hopefully talking to my husband and letting me get in a big map to put either back here or where my calendar is. A huge, like world map. And so I can be a true investigator and stick with the red string. And she was on Monday. I think she was here. She's been really busy. She's not been feeling good. Freaky Geek beat you to it, Ron. It's like, good time to scare Missy. Good time. So other than working on that, so I want to do I want to map out the pyramids and the ley lines and all that good stuff. So I want a huge map to do that. And secondly, the thing I've been working on. Thank you, Ron. You didn't get me as bad as Freaky Geek, but that one got me too. A little bit. Thank you, Ron, for the ice cream. I appreciate it. Brain freeze. Emma's a gem. Brain freeze. So yeah, what I'm working on is basically, I want to see, first of all, does anybody know if there is, now I know there's recordings of what it sounds like in space. But is there like oh my God, Andy, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much, hon. Thank you. You guys are awesome. You really are. Well, yeah, the wow moment, but like an ongoing, like a okay, did you put it in whose channel that you wanted me to? I still have to put up Through the Veils channel next week. I'm sorry, Ron. I can fake it. But like I want to make a spirit box with like outer space white noise. Does that make sense? Okay, Andy, we'll do. This is true. If that makes sense. I want to like true, Andy, true. That's right. He said that, right? But I want to make a spirit box with like space noise. SETI's not up and running anymore, is it? I have SETI on my screen saver, but it's never comes up as one of the jobs it wants me to do anymore. But yeah, so I need like there's different ways to make spirit boxes, Freaky Geek. Oh, Ron. Thank you, Ron, for the diamond. I appreciate that so much. I really do. Thank you so much, hon. You're awesome. I miss it. Mark's channel, Ghost Adventure of Cornwall. You know what? I think I am subscribed to him. I know how to make well, I mean, I have spirit boxes. Actually, we were using it last night. It's out in the living room. I have spirit boxes. I have the S box and the SB7 box. And I also know how to make the Echo phone, like the portal, a mini portal. But I do believe I am subscribed to him. I have all the makings of a portal in my Amazon cart. I just gotta wait right now, especially because I'm not working that much. And I don't get unemployment. So, you know. But I think, see, Jen don't sound familiar. I'm gonna have to see, but I think that sounds familiar. Ghost Adventures of Cornwall. That definitely sounds familiar to me. I know how to make a mouse. I don't order in people bills. Really, Andy? I believe that. Because when I started, even though I've worked here like 4 years, I took a year off last year. I didn't work the season last year. So when I started back up, I didn't start up until August. I think it was August. No, maybe September. The end of August, I think, beginning of September. So I didn't work enough in the last year or from that time. That wasn't enough hours. But it's okay. I mean, we're surviving. My husband gets unemployment and we're surviving. We're good. And my boss definitely, that's why I had to go down and do my emails and stuff from the groups because my boss is giving me at least a couple hours a week, you know, as much as he can. It's all right. We're doing good. We're all right. Did I miss a comment from you, Ron? Oh, okay. Got it. But yeah, we're good. We're surviving. It sucks, but what are you going to do? The stimulus check, I still got that. So that helped out a lot too. Well, that's just it. Yeah, I had to take the year off due to health reasons. I was having problems with my neck because my neck is deteriorating. So, but now when I went back to work, my boss knows how it is and knows that I can't do things constantly. Yeah, that's true, Andy. It does help. It does help. Yeah. I would either break the pole or me. Exactly, Lisa. I agree. It's all right. It's all right. I don't know if that was the right song, but it sounded good. Oh, my back. All right, guys. With that being said, thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it. I was bad. You know what I didn't do? What didn't I do, guys? What do you think I didn't do? There you go. Sing along with shrimp. That works. That works, definitely. I like that. Is that our new, Saturday nights? Oh, thank you for the lemon, Freaky Geek. You guys are awesome. You really are. Oh, excuse me. It's a banana dancing. It's a banana. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm still going to talk. So while I am running my credits, maybe if they come up, there they go. Oh, I have the D-Live chat going on. That's what happens when, oh, wrong one. I don't know what the hell's going on. There we go. There we go. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Every single one of you. Oh, thank you for the ice cream. You almost got me. You so almost got me. I was not expecting that. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'm sure I will be out. I probably will be on D-Live this weekend streaming, so keep an eye out for that. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Watch your ears because I'm going to do my outro. And take care. Be safe. Know that I'm thinking about you guys. Love you guys. And I'll look forward to talking to you Monday. Take care, everybody. Much love.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me.